Why did you buy Breitling? Modern Breitling? Seriously? They're seen as glorified, gaudy, blingy, ETA-based watches. Okay, so the first argument that I've got to debunk or talk about is, why does it bother you? Why does it bother you if I bought a Breitling, I spent my money, I'm wearing it on my wrist, how does that hurt you? It's the silliest thing, one of the silliest things ever. So right off the bat, who cares? It's my money, it's my wrist, it's my taste. It shouldn't hurt you, it shouldn't bother you. Now, some people will say, oh, well, I'm just watching out for you. You're going to take a bath when you go to resell that thing. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. First off, thank you. I will look around. I'll look at the AD. I'll look at gray market. I'll look at pre-owned. I'll go to the Facebook forums or the watch forums and the Facebook groups. I will do my research. And when I do pull the trigger, it's at a price I'm comfortable with. I bought this pre-owned. It's still under warranty. It was purchased at an AD. But I bought it for a good price that I'm comfortable with. So if I do go to sell it in the future, I probably will break even. I might lose $50, but might lose $100. But the point is, as long as you're savvy and you do your homework, you recognize what they go for at different prices, and you buy at a price that you're comfortable with, that doesn't matter. You know, if you can't afford a watch, don't buy a watch. If you buy a Breitling at full retail price and a month later you decide it's not for you and you go to sell it, you will take a bath. So what I'm saying is do your homework and that won't be an issue. Okay, the next thing, the ETA, how ETA is perceived negatively. Yes, Breitling does buy ETA-based movements and they upgrade them, they regulate them, they have their own chronometry in the Le Chaux de Fonds region in Switzerland, and they do it right. You know, they're not buying an ETA eBosch, dropping it in a case and shipping it off. They take the movement, and they tastefully finish it. They upgrade it, they regulate it to 6 positions, and they send it to the COSC for certification. Every single Breitling since 1999, whether it's a ladies model, a quartz model, gets chronometer certification. And you will get a certificate like this if you buy Breitling. I think that's pretty cool. So the argument that it's bad that they're using an ETA-based movement, I don't buy into, because they're not just buying a movement, dropping it, and shipping it out. They're doing it properly. You know, they're regulating it. They're adjusting it. They're getting it certified a chronometer. And when you go to service that, you could send it to Breitling, or you could take it to a trusted local watchmaker who has access to the proper parts. And it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. It's a proven movement or a proven series of movements. There's nothing wrong with that. In the meantime, Breitling, they are developing their own movements. They've done some excellent stuff. The BO1 chronograph. Sorry guys. The BO1 chronograph is one of the top chronographs that you can buy. You know, it's tastefully finished. It's got all the specs like the column wheel chrono, the vertical clutch, the 70-hour power reserve, the instantaneous date change. You can get them with a GMT feature with an independently moving GMT hand. I mean, it's what they're doing. It's very impressive, and the movements that they've come out with are great. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming out with a 3-hand movement with a date. They haven't announced that. I'm just speculating. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that. So they're coming out with in-house stuff that's really good. It's top of the market. And in the meantime, they're using ETA and creating great movements from them. So that's not a big deal to me. If you're a movement snob, it has to be in-house, it has to be independent, it has to be this and that. Well, you know, buy the BO1 caliber or don't buy a Breitling. So yes, there are some great things about Breitling. They are independent. They don't have a sister brand. They're not owned by a large conglomerate. They do certify all their chronometers. They do some things really well. Okay. But other brands do that too. Well, there's a few of them that do that as well. What about Breitling specifically did they do better than anyone else? There's 3 things that I want to share with you. So one, and it's kind of silly, it's the warranty card. Nobody does a warranty card like Breitling. It's not a credit card. You know, it's not it probably is plastic, but it's thick and it's totally electronic. It's got this cool pattern to it on the front, and then I'll cover this up. On the back, everything is electronic, which is awesome. So nobody does a warranty card like Breitling. At least I haven't seen one. Kind of a silly thing because we're buying the watch for the actual watch, right? But it's kind of nice to know that the warranty card is freaking cool. Another thing is the crystals. Breitling does something called that they call Cambered sapphire crystals, which means they're double domed, they're exquisitely clear, and they're top quality sapphire crystals, and they just super coat the underside with nice quality anti-reflective coating. So when you look at it, I mean, it almost doesn't look like there's a crystal if you're looking at it straight on. It's so clear. And it's not just the clarity. When you get it in the right light, you see that blue iridescent sheen from the sapphire crystal. It doesn't take over the whole watch crystal like microbrands do. Some microbrand crystals do. It just looks, man, it looks so cool. So you get the right amount of beauty, function, and clarity, and the crystal on a Breitling is the best in the business, in my opinion. The last thing is the bracelet. Now, nobody does bracelets quite like Breitling. They basically, outside of a mesh, they only do 2 types of bracelets. They do a pilot style, and then they do this style, which is called the Professional. This is the Professional 3 that I have on my Avenger 2 GMT. Now, what's cool about it is the links. Unlike a Rolex or an Omega, Seiko, Tudor, the link is one section of steel, and then they're all held together by screws and pins. The Breitling, each different section of this bracelet is a separate metal piece that you have to assemble, and they're hand finished. And so the bracelet really is kind of like a work of art that you've got to piece together as you're sizing the bracelet. And each link is it's got a diagonal slash through it, or the seam is diagonally cut. So it's really cool to look at. And I tell you what, let me show you this. There's nothing like a Breitling drape to these links. I mean, it's because each section is not one chunk of steel, since each different member is a separate piece, it just has the most luxurious drape and feel while it's on your wrist. It feels like $1,000,000, and I love that. It's so cool. So yeah, nobody in my experience yet has done these 3 things like Breitling can do. The bracelets, the warranty card, and the Cambered sapphire crystals. So that's pretty cool. The last thing, and probably the biggest one, is people will say, man, I don't like Breitlings. They're too big. They're too shiny. They're too blingy. They've got too much presence. There's, my watch is almost entirely polished. People don't like the style. Some people don't. Fair enough. We buy what we like, and that's just fine. But the things that you're saying that you don't like about Breitling is exactly why I do like Breitling. I love the wrist presence. I love the shine. I like the way this looks. I love looking at this, knowing I have a completely unique watch. It's not an homage. It's from a great brand. It has original styling and everything. It's got history, and it's properly done. High quality. So I love that. I love the X factor, if you will, about Breitling. How their metal bezels are machined, and how they have these different tabs for when you're wearing pilot's gloves and you want to operate the bezel. The things that people don't like about Breitling, I think it's cool. So I'll admit that, I kind of like ugly watches. I like a lot of ugly Seikos. It's not to everyone's taste, but I really like the style. So those are my thoughts about Breitling as a brand in general, some of the things that I really like about them. I will do a video doing a review of this Avenger 2 GMT, specifically just focusing on this model. Give me a few weeks for that. But yeah, I bought a Breitling. I'm totally happy with my purchase. I don't buy into the hate or the hype from some enthusiasts against Breitling. The ETA-based argument, or the bling, or the overpriced argument, all the things that people say, I don't buy into. I love my Breitling. I'm happy with the purchase. I'm happy with the price I paid, and I got a smile on my face. When I'm going about my daily business, and when I'm at work, when I'm driving in the car, I'm driving in the car and I notice my wrist, and I check out the watch and I look at the time, it'll put a smile on my face. This thing is a beautiful, well done watch, and I'm totally happy. So Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. You know, haters, tell me where I'm wrong. Breitling fans, chime in, back me up. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.